Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Recently we have received a new aircraft firmware update from the DJI. So in this video we will be discussing about the same. So guys, as you can see on the screen that we have received a new firmware update for our DJI Mini 2, as well as we have also received a DJI RCN1 remote controller firmware update. So guys, whenever we update our aircraft firmware, we used to get a problem with our hack process. So now in the about session you can see guys that our current running aircraft firmware was 01.05 and RC firmware was 04.11034, and currently we have got an update for both of these. So guys, let's quickly update this firmware and see whether the hack is working fine or not. So I would suggest you guys who all have the aircraft firmware on their DJI Mini 2 which is lesser than 01.03, then please don't update this firmware. And the guys who already have the firmware version as 01.04 or 01.05, then do watch this video, and at the end I will let you know guys whether you should update or you should not update this firmware. So whenever you're updating your firmware, make sure your aircraft battery is more than 60%, and also your RC battery should be more than 50%. Basically, this firmware upgrade takes around 5 to 10 minutes to get it installed on your drone. Once the firmware gets updated, you will see the firmware update successful, and you have to restart your DJI Mini 2 or whichever drone you have. So now I have restarted my drone, and here in the safety settings you can see that max altitude has been set to 15 meters. That means with this firmware also we get a limit of 15 meters. And in the above session you can see that aircraft firmware has been updated to 01.06, and even the RC firmware has been updated. So in this video we will be doing the hack process with the DH companion, as well as we will be also using the free rainbow version to hack this 15 meters limit. So without wasting much of the time, let's quickly start with the hack process. Here you can see that max altitude has been set to 15 meters. So let's switch back to the DH companion application. So DH companion application only works on the Android phone, and while using the DH companion application we need to have the Dronehacks license and internet connection should be enabled on your phone. So once you open the DH companion, you have to give the permission to for your phone or the cable to access this DH companion, and once that's done you will be able to see that 500 meters button and enable FCC. You have to click on both the buttons one by one, and once you see that the 500 meters altitude has been applied, then you can switch back to DJI Fly app. And here once you switch back, you have to unplug the cable from your phone. As you are seeing on the screen now, you have to unplug your cable and plug in back to your phone. Once that's done, you can see here in the safety settings we are not able to see that 500 meters has been set. Every time we are getting an error message saying that you are modifying the max altitude and that cannot be applied. So our hack is not working perfectly with this particular firmware. So there might be a chance that the hack was not properly applied, or the hack is not compatible with this particular firmware. So we'll try doing the hack process again on this particular firmware and see whether the hack is working or not. For now, let's fly a drone more than 15 meters or whatever the altitude is. We'll try to fly our drone and see whether we will be able to exceed 15 meters or not. So here as you can see on the screen, we are not able to exceed more than 15 meters. What we are getting a warning as max altitude reached at 15 meters. So let's do the hack process again and see whether we will be able to bypass this 15 meters or not. If we have failed to bypass the 15 meters, that means hack is not working with this particular firmware, and if we were able to bypass it, then that means hack is working. So now again I have opened the DH companion. You have to just unplug the cable and plug in back to your phone now. and you have to give all the permissions to access the DH companion. You have to keep your internet connection on. You have to click on 500 meters, enable FCC. Once that's done, you have to switch back to your DJI flap, and when you switch to DJI flap, the same steps goes on. You have to unplug your cable and plug in back to your phone, and once the DJI flap starts fetching the data from your drone, here in the max altitude you're able to see that 500 meters has been set fine. Means the max altitude has been reset from 15 meters to 500 meters. That means hack has been applied totally fine. So for better confirmation, we'll try flying our drone more than 15 meters and we'll check out whether our drone is able to exceed the 15 meters limit or not.
Take off.
So guys, I suspect that when we applied the hack for the first time, that time hack did not get applied because the home point might have not been updated in the DJI flap, because of which when we applied the hack did not get implemented on the DJI flap. So whenever you're doing the hack process, you make sure that you open the DJI flap and keep the DJI flap open for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Once the home point is updated, then you do the hack process. So guys, as you saw on the screen, we were able to exceed 15 meters after the hack with DH companion. Now we are doing the hack process with the rainbow application. So guys, I am waiting for the DJI flap to update the home point. So as you can see on the screen, now the home point has been updated, and in the safety settings you can see that max altitude is set to 15 meters. And aircraft firmware and RC firmware, you can see on the screen that we are on the latest aircraft firmware and the RC firmware. Now let's quickly switch our DJI flap to the free version of the rainbow application. So I have opened the free version of rainbow application. You have to unplug your cable and plug in your cable now. And once you plug in your cable, if you're using the Android phone, you have to click on transfer photos. You have to click on cancel when DJI flap tries to access your RC. Then you have to click on fly drone. Once the rainbow app gets connected, you have to go to the settings, aircraft, and here you have to change the max altitude from 15 meters to 500 meters. Once you see the successful message, then you can switch back to the DJI flap, and the same process goes on. You have to unplug the cable and plug in again. So guys, this particular free version of rainbow application works on iOS as well as the Android, so you can utilize this free hack on both iOS and Android. So guys, now as you can see on the screen, our max altitude has been set to 500 meters after the hack using the free version of rainbow application. You can find the detailed video in the description, or I'll add the video link in the I button. You can check out the detailed video on this free version of rainbow application. So guys, for your confirmation, I'm flying my drone at the height of around 157 meters, and with this I hope you have got the confirmation that hack is working fine. And I have tested the quick shots RTH. So as you can see on the screen, RTH is also working fine and quick shots are also working fine. All the smart modes are working fine, so without any worries you can update your firmware if your firmware is more than 1.03. If your firmware is not more than 1.03, then please don't update this aircraft firmware. So that's it for this video guys. I hope you have liked this video and found this video informative. If you guys found this video informative, do hit a like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.